Next question. The government has spent trillions of dollars on COVID relief. Many people are concerned the United States cannot keep spending at this pace. What are your thoughts on federal spending, the deficit, and fiscal matters? And we're going to start with Mr. Frix.
You know, as I mentioned before, we have got to balance our budget. We have got to do that. I've done that at the state level. I've done that in my small businesses. I've done that. We've got to get back to being a balanced budget country. The last time we had a balanced budget by the federal government was in the 90s. You know, serving in the state house, I had to make some tough decisions. I rolled up my sleeves and I went to work to make sure we balanced our budget. And we did so in a way that actually cut taxes for all Oklahomans and passed a tax reform package that ended up actually cutting taxes for all Oklahomans. And now we have over $2 billion in our rainy day fund. We have got to get back to a balanced budget, and that will be one of my top priorities as your next congressman.
Mr. Brecheen.
So I want to correct something. My opponent just said that he cut taxes. He voted 12 different times to raise taxes on Oklahomans in his time in the legislature. We were there at the same time in 2017 and 2018. His record will show you that he voted 12 different times to raise taxes on Oklahomans, $2.77 billion with a B in tax increases on Oklahomans. And so it's a disingenuous answer to say that he's voted for tax decreases. Too many politicians are willing to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. When in 2018 occurred, I was up there. I was one of only 4 in the Oklahoma State Senate that refused to raise taxes, and I wasn't just saying no. I had 3 bills that would have put $225 million on the table. Cutting corporate welfare to the wind industry was one of them. 60 lobbyists fought against us on that. All 3 of those bills passed the full House, the full Senate. There was legislative buy-in. They refused to do the right thing. They raised your taxes, and that includes your tax at the pump.
All right, we will allow a rebuttal if you would like on that, Mr. Frix. 45 seconds, please.
You know, this is a continuation of the dark money half-truths. You know, half-truths are full lies. I think that's something that we do agree on. And here, we've seen dark money groups. A guy out of Philadelphia is putting millions of dollars into the campaign to distort my record. I'm proud of my record. I helped us pass a balanced budget, and we cut taxes for every single Oklahoman. When I went into the legislature to today, Oklahomans are paying less taxes, and I'm proud of that. Oklahoma is better off today than we were 6 years ago, and the only ones that would disagree that are woke companies and the liberal left. I'm proud of my record of cutting taxes and balancing the budget. My opponent, he didn't balance the budget. He voted against balancing the budget. He voted with the Democrats. It's easy to talk about balancing the budget, but I have a history of actually doing it.
Mr. Brecheen.
So I didn't, the vote was, are you going to raise the taxes on Oklahomans? It's easy to talk about being a MAGA conservative. But when push comes to shove, while President Trump was leading a tax decrease on the families of Oklahoma and all of America, my opponent had the choice. Do I raise taxes or do we look for waste, fraud, and abuse? They looked to raising the tax. I authored the 3 bills that would have put $225 million on the table. I didn't co-author them, I authored them. They either passed the full House or the full Senate. One of those bills, getting rid of the corporate welfare for the wind industry, had 60 lobbyists fighting against me. Even waste has a constituency. And so you can say that you're a MAGA conservative, but when President Trump is cutting taxes and you're raising taxes, your record doesn't prove true.
Okay, we appreciate those responses, but we are going to move on now to make